In the United States, there's a whole industry run by licensed professionals and far-right religious groups that's profiting off of the harm and sometimes eventual death of LGBTQ people. It's the morally bankrupt practice of conversion therapy, and it's still around today, in 2018. Despite its being a total failure and there being zero evidence to support its efficacy, it is still legal in many states and LGBTQ people are suffering immensely. Many folks in the US have no idea how common conversion therapy remains, and the media has a responsibility to expose this practice and present the facts about its harms. Fortunately, there is hope thanks to activists fighting to protect LGBTQ kids from the harms of conversion therapy, and they're already making huge strides. The Trevor Project's Sam Brinton is at the forefront of the movement.
My name is Sam Brinton. I am our head of advocacy and government affairs for the Trevor Project. At the Trevor Project, our 50 Bills, 50 States campaign is specifically working on this issue to make sure that every state submits legislation working to protect LGBTQ youth from conversion therapy.
Sam is a gender-fluid activist and survivor of conversion therapy. In addition to working on Trevor Project's 50 Bills, 50 States campaign, they've addressed the UN's Committee Against Torture and co-chaired the #BornPerfect Advisory Committee. Sam advised Barack and Michelle Obama on LGBTQ issues, and in 2015, the president was the first to make an official announcement in support of ending conversion therapy.
So in 2018 alone, we have passed legislation that protects LGBTQ youth from licensed mental health professionals practicing conversion therapy in the states of Hawaii, New Hampshire, Maryland, and Washington. That's just so far. We could still have other states like Delaware, New York, and Massachusetts following suit. This has been one of the most watershed years for ending conversion therapy ever.
In January 2018, the Williams Institute estimated that in the US, about 20,000 LGBT kids ages 13 to 17 will experience conversion therapy from a licensed healthcare professional before they turn 18. Even more startling, 57,000 will receive conversion therapy from a religious or spiritual advisor before they reach the age of 18. The same report estimated that around 698,000 LGBTQ adults have received conversion therapy at some point in their lives, including 350,000 who were forced into the programs as kids.
LGBT youth from highly rejecting families like those that practice conversion therapy on their youth are 8.4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their LGBT peers who come from accepting families. And it comes from this idea that if you don't change, you feel like the failure, not the system failed.
It is vital that in talking about conversion therapy, those who are subjected to the torture for their gender identity are not left out.
Conversion therapy has never just been an LGB issue. It has been an LGBT issue its entire time. What can happen when you use the word gay conversion therapy, or you only talk about sexual orientation, is that you can lead trans youth to think that they are not protected. In a national survey, 40% of transgender individuals reported having attempted suicide. 92% of those individuals reported having attempted suicide before the age of 25. That's what conversion therapy is leading to. It is leading to absolutely horrific levels of transgender suicidal ideation, and we have to stop that.
Mental health experts agree. This is a gruesome practice that can lead to depression, anxiety, and self-destructive behavior.
Any kind of group that tries to change the sexual orientation or gender identity of people from what's natural for them, I find to be very damaging.
A lot of the therapists that I know and people that I work with do not practice conversion therapy, think it is a not good thing because it does create more harm.
When the treatment fails and you've had that additional experience in addition to all the other anti-homosexual experiences people have in their lives growing up, it does leave psychological scars.
Conversion therapists have deeply held prejudices against queer and trans people that reinforce the self-hatred often already experienced by the patient.
We know that transgender youth need affirmative therapies, affirmative surgeries if that's their choice, and affirmative spaces that say you should learn about yourself in a way that doesn't tell you that who you are is wrong. That's what conversion therapy does. Conversion therapy is often seen as a relic of the past, but the data and the experiences of queer survivors tell us otherwise. I think the media needs to recognize that many in our country have no idea that this is still happening. So shining a light on its existence is actually a very large step. So highlight what it is, highlight its ineffectiveness, and highlight its harms. When the media is reporting about a recall for a product, right? They're trying to warn the public that this product could hurt them. That's exactly what they should be doing with conversion therapy. We're recalling it.
When the media reports on conversion therapy, there is a tendency to present it as a two-sided issue.
So they tend to bring out every once in a while a person who sometimes identifies as ex-gay, a person who identifies as changed. That can be really, really damaging. You're trying to provide a perspective, but you're definitely also providing something that scientifically isn't accurate. You do not need to have a person who believes the earth is flat on your program.
Sometimes reporters with good intentions of exposing conversion therapy's failures rely heavily on the emotional labor of survivors and can re-traumatize them in the process.
I have found that sharing my story can be a very empowering moment. It also absolutely leads to nights of nightmares. It leads to days of depression. That's not something I always want to do. Know that you can ask a parent who loves their child instead. You could ask a pastor who affirms LGBTQ youth in their church. You can ask a teacher who affirms LGBTQ youth in their classroom. Ask people who are doing the opposite of conversion therapy. Press can report on an innovative and exciting way that the LGBTQ community is stepping up for itself and saying, you will not erase us anymore. We are within years stopping more conversion therapy than I ever thought imaginable. As a survivor, it is beautiful to see that we're on the right side of history, and it's already history is being made nearly, it feels like, on a weekly basis.